Yeah, what's going on, David? So I got into those meetings, but I had this workflow that I was going to present, and I wanted to still get it to you so you could start thinking about, just kind of building on what we talked about yesterday. So I'm just going to go right into it. I have a slide deck that I prepared called David Nurse Feedback. So let's just get right into it, man. So I talked about it yesterday, how I kind of just wanted to, answer things from your perspective, like on a one-on-one client, getting to understand, what the problems that you're going through. And so I kind of wrote out some of the stuff like, is it producing the content, creating more value? Is it the research aspect? And we kind of talked about how it was, you mentioned, kind of not really sure what to put out, or there's a lot to put out. And so I think that that is a common thing that a lot of people go through. But what I have found in my own experience to get through it is kind of the long-term vision and understanding, what people have done in the past to basically make it work for their business. So one thing I'll say, just on um, in terms of just in general, a mindset that helps me is, becoming outcome independent, and really, leveraging or noticing my motivations for things, whether it comes from, I find that if I want a monetary, I'm trying to get like money or monetary from it, I find that it doesn't really drive me as much as seeing the big picture of just like helping people. And I know it may sound cliche, but I encourage you to just try some of this stuff, because we talked before how you do your morning meditations and your morning you do your morning I forget what you were calling it, like your specific what you wanted to accomplish from that day. So maybe you're into some of this meditation stuff. I'm not exactly sure. We haven't really talked about it, but just kind of going to a high level and like a different paradigm shift. If this resonates with you, that's something that's helped me. Is, I remember in my life, what I'm doing this for, this digital marketing, or helping people, or trying to be a life coach or whatnot. And I've told this story before, and you can kind of take away elements from what I do and implement it for when you start your YouTube channel. um, I read this study that there was a 70K. It said once you make 70K, it's like the baseline for happiness. And you could Google search that and find like the articles. In fact, I might even do right now for you. 70K for base, right? And so I like, yeah, so they said money buys happiness when income is 7,500. So there's all these research articles, and I think I read this like 4 years ago, and I tried it. I've tried getting that six figures, whatever you want to call it, and I found that my life was kind of the same. I wasn't really doing stuff drastically different than when I first started my career. Making 50K or 40K as a programmer. And so I use that as a reference point now to remind myself of why I'm doing, making videos like this, making content. It's because I know, the motivation that money has, or what money could do. But at the same time, I've found that my life has drastically been different in terms of like, whether you want to call it dopamine spikes or whatnot, when I have helped people, right, overcome barriers or have aha moments. So that's kind of what I chase for now. It's not really like monetary. That's kind of what drives me. And I would maybe just think about perhaps looking into some of that stuff. There's some good books on it. Brandon Bouchard talks about this. Lewis Hughes, um, the high performance habits. So I always think it's like life in this journey is just an education and learning more. So one of the things I would encourage, based on what you told me yesterday, perhaps considering that angle of, really getting deep down, and really getting to understand yourself of what's driving you and what's motivating you. So one of the things I wanted to, you sent me a text about if you wanted to do an app. So this is the book I was talking about. It's called The Lean Startup. It's by Eric Ries. And this has been a fundamental book in terms of like accelerators and startups, of how they should grow and build their business. And one of the things that has really helped, um, you know, helped a lot of people in Silicon Valley, and you take elements from the book and apply it, is this build, measure, learn feedback. And essentially, what I want to do is showcase to you how you could implement it for basketball, and applying it to your situation. So they call it like customer driven response, stuff like that. um, I tried to think of like this presentation of, are you not producing content because you have no customers, or there are no customers because you haven't finished a product? And one of the things, and what I'm going to show you in terms of what you can see on YouTube, is how you could see how people want your services. You just have to deliver it and execute on those ideas. Um, so this is what we talked about this yesterday, right? And you kind of admitted to it. But this is just from my perspective, right? I'm just one person, but I took a screenshot of what you did for your How to Sleep Deep Sleep Possible, and the type of work that you put into it, right? So I can only assume based on reading it, but deep down, it's you're putting your stamp of approval on what is athlete of the future, and that's what I would always encourage you to do as you produce content. Is saying like, look, is this what the best I could produce, and is this what I want to put out there for my content? So one of the things that I would encourage you to do, and I just want to go through this with you in person. So one of the persons I found was I Love Basketball, and I talked about getting this app called Keywords Everywhere, right? So this is a Chrome installation that once you install it, it shows you what people are searching for on Google. It uses Google AdWords and the free data that Google gives you to kind of build, um, you know, confidence in the content you're about to produce. So one of the ways to do market research is, so this guy has a lot of subscribers, but he put basketball drills for guards, layup drills. So let's just put that in. Right, so either this guy is getting coached on marketing, or this guy, because if you see here in Google, his thing is the first thing that appears. And then if we look down here, there's also this other website, Breakthrough Basketball, 6 critical drills for elite. And this website isn't that fancy, and it's not that, this guy has 25,000 views. But the point I want to make across is, this should be you, man. You're in the basketball space. You need to start developing this content that you should be up here in these top ranking Google page search rhythms. And so you can see here, if we ranked basketball drills for, I spelled it right. So basketball drills dribbling. Here's another thing that has high volume, 5,000, and the competition is low, right? Or even if we just put basketball drills, once again, we see here, the B-ball breakdown has a post on Google, and so does I Love Basketball TV, right? So this was made in 2016, and yet if you search it now in 2018, he's still getting traffic. And so one of the things you could do, so this was produced 2 years ago, something that helps motivate me to, trust in the process, trust in the regimen of making this content, 1 day ago. So like, this guy got a hater, but regardless of what you want to see here, is that people are still watching this video that he made 2 years ago, right? So what other time in history and opportunity have we had the possibility that you make a content and then 2 years later people are still engaged in it, right? It's actually kind of ridiculous. And then you can see here, this is one of the strategies that people do, is so this guy is basically, he knows, right, some of the stuff you could do. He posts content. This video is good, has really nice moves. I've been using this program. Okay, so maybe he might be working for him, he might not be. But this guy's getting free exposure. Damian Litzer Basketball, right? So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is engage with the community. Where are the people in basketball? Because especially if you want to get into this social space, they're here. They're on YouTube, and you can answer, like, one of the strategies is either leaving comments or answering questions, because when people make and they have a huge following, they actually they can't respond to everyone's comments. So one of the strategies that you could implement is you could answer these people's questions. So is James Harden step back travel? You can leave a comment here, and then people may look at your profile, and right, it's all like leaving breadcrumbs. And once you just start engaging with the community, right? Being social on social media involves you actually committing 100% to answering these people's questions, right? So, see, here's one. Coach, please make videos on screening and rolling, please, right? So, let's say you had that video made, you could hit reply and say, hey, I have my own version here. You may be interested in it. Let me know what you think, or whatever content you want to do. And one of the reasons and the mindsets behind this, and at least that has helped me and that I encourage my clients to do, is you're trying to increase the level of basketball. And one of the things when you become like a consultant or a coach is sometimes you may feel like you're teaching the same thing over and over and over again, right? Because when you're trading time for money, right? And you spend certain X amount of hours teaching kids or X amount of hours teaching your clients. And you may find that some of the people go through the same issues, right? So you sometimes it's like, why am I teaching the same stuff over and over again? Why don't I just make one static content that people can watch on their own and figure out based on my teachings, my principles, and how I've helped my clients, and then I could evolve the game and get into like the deeper stuff. Because I think from a human perspective, you like going deep and figuring things out, and you like depth over width. So this is just one outlet for you to you know work on your craft and get better at your craft. So these are just suggestions I would recommend, because one of the things that I've found that has been the craziest is, right, so let's go all the way back on this guy's videos. This is just one example, right? Sort by oldest. So this guy knew about it 5 years ago, and if we click on this video, you can see that he started off kind of mediocre or whatnot. But this is the important part I want you getting out of YouTube, because if you sort by newest first, this video was made in 2013. He's still getting posts. Who's watching this in 2020, 2018? This helped me so much, right? So, okay, maybe it's not getting watched that much, but it's still, 5 years, people are engaging in the content. And then here's another thing I want you seeing. Look at it right here. Want to add 4 to 6 inches to your vertical? This guy understands the systems in place. And when you click on this link, like, this is a sales page, this is a squeeze page, the same exact stuff that I've been teaching you, he's just executed on. And so you have to realize that it's not just that he's doing it, but that should give you confidence to do it yourself, and then teach whatever version you want to do, right? It's just a simple headline, email address, send me the free workout. And feel free to sign up and see what he sends you, so that you could start reverse engineering success and reverse engineering what these people are doing. Because if someone watches this years ago and they click on this want a free workout, you're not talking to that guy, you're not calling that person on the phone, you're not you've made a system, a sales system, where people can subscribe and engage with you, and you've already figured out MailChimp, and you've seen how optimization automation could work, right? So if you set up a system where they watch your YouTube video, they subscribe, new subscribers get a content or campaign which you get 20% conversion, right? This is 500,000 views. 20%, even 10% conversion is 50,000 people, right? And you could kind of see how once you do the work once, you're funneling people into a system that gets results. And it takes time, but that's why I want you engaged and seeing what other people are doing, and actually realizing that it's the same system that I've been teaching you has just been implemented by them earlier than you, but there's no reason why you can't get into this space as well. Right? And one last thing I wanted to show you is how you could actually keep engaging or get noticed in your content. So one of the videos I watched, so one tip to increase your shooting drill. So yeah, it was this one. So once again, I love basketball TV. And if we scroll down here, what you should aim for when shooting, how to shoot, right? So you're trying to rely on YouTube's algorithm so that you could get noticed. And what happens? So this is another add-on called Videolytics. These are the tags he put, right? You could copy these tags when you upload your YouTube videos. But if we look here, he put this guy knows marketing, YouTube SEO as well, because he has, not as many, 1.3 versus, that's still a lot, 350,000. But he tagged I Love Basketball TV because he knows that if he made enough content eventually, he would get exactly what you're seeing here recommended on someone watching his channel. And another thing you could do is, so this is one of the latest contents. This is his latest video, how to rebuild your jump shot. Coach, can you show us how to do a fadeaway? Once again, you can see here, you can respond to these people because I Love Basketball hasn't responded, right? And here's another sales funnel he's doing. Back to YouTube. Or we go here. Go to site. So this looks like an affiliate. Once again, similar stuff. Just a headline, put your email address. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing that you couldn't do or we couldn't do together, right? But yeah, for example, like 117 likes. Can you show us how to do a fadeaway? Right? This is your market research. This is like people want to know how to do a fadeaway, right? So I asked you before to send a survey to your existing clients, but another way to do it is to just go on people's YouTube channels and answer it. I got a question. When I was freshman year, I had a pretty consistent jump shot as I got older. But whenever I shoot now, my mechanics feel off. Any pointers, right? He's not answering. Like, you can answer these questions and build your YouTube audience. And trust me, I've started implementing this for myself. And look, I have like 50 subscribers. I'm just a generalist in digital marketing. But it's understanding, like, we're both in this together. Like, you technically have more social media reach than I do. And you have like more credentials and you have more um, audience and you have more authority, right? So I would ask you, it's just a mindset thing, is that you should be doing, it's not that you should be doing this, but like I think it's just becoming aware of your consciousness that, like, look, this is what you want to take your market to, and it's just getting used to it. Just the same way that, I wasn't used to doing digital marketing consultations, and then eventually I just kind of got in the habit of doing it. um this is a strategy where, look at all these comments, trying to get as much practice as I can. So thank you for the video. So here's another one on fadeaway, right? um this video I need, as my jump shot has been really messy lately, because I feel like, right, so these are real people. Like, this is like, I don't, this isn't like a staged thing. Like, I've literally just went on YouTube and saw this. And then, so that once you answer someone's questions, they get a notification and they're like, hey, someone replied to you, and they'll check you out if you have a thing set up, right? So what you should aim for, this, you could see their tags here. So at the end of the day, it's not just content marketing, but it's helping the community. As and what is that one book? There's a saying where you will get rewarded based on the amount of people you help, right? That everything in life you need will be when you help other people, right? If this is your calling and this is really what you want to do, you, like, there's no outsourcing this. There's just people out there who want to get better. And like, even on this guy's channel, I'm a great shooter, but sometimes I'm inconsistent. And people don't mind if you answer on their community. I mean, we're all in this together. It's not competition, it's collaboration. He can't help all these people because he's doing some other stuff. So here's another channel where you could just, like, get ideas or get market research. Hey coach, have you got any tips for making formless or unorthodox steps? I'm a one motion shooter, but I like to aim for the back of the rim. These are just ideas. And so once again, you can see here, this person, the reason he does YouTube is because he understands the concept that you are trying to get a sales funnel. Improve your shooting today with 7 switch workout free. The 7 drill. Click to get instant access. Right, this is all stuff I've showed you with the 12 steps of a perfect shooter, or stuff of that nature. It's because you're answering people's questions and you're helping them, solve their problems. And then as you do it enough, eventually you get rewarded. So here's another guy that came from, as you just follow the breadcrumbs of of YouTube, got shot basketball, right? This guy has less views, but he's still making content. Kyrie shirt, Kyrie Irving's shooting for, right? There's always room for more people to come in and help those seeking to improve in basketball. So just want to check my notes because this is essentially what I told you, and I'll send you this. Is just you know install this program and find like basketball drills has 14,000 searches a month and 0.16 competition. Like you can make YouTube videos on this and then double down and then make blog articles on it, right? Because I promise you, none of these guys are making blog, right? This is an opportunity to just take the extra step and differentiate yourself. Um, got
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, two of the greatest shooters who have ever graced an NBA floor.
See, so he's just got an Instagram with 830 people. Not that many, but he's crushing it on YouTube. There's a lot of viewers on YouTube. 24,000, right? So basically, I've just kind of skipped around in this presentation. I'll email this to you. Um, but it's gotta start with the customer, right? If there's a book called Onwards by Howard Schultz, it's the CEO of Starbucks. He always says that everything comes from understanding the customer and understanding what they want. So this is the stuff you have to keep in your mind: is do your customers want what you're offering? And you have to research and build that confidence. To One of the things is finding out what they want and then seeing it with your own eyes, right? This is a video I've made for you, but nothing is stopping you from going on YouTube and answering these questions, right? And then if they responded to you or see it, then you'll start building the confidence. And that you just have to take the step, man. Because these are just notes that I've taken from the book. But this is the best advice I give to you: is just get an action oriented mindset and stop really thinking about like what should I make, but really like what do I think the people want, by researching it and finding it on YouTube, and then just making an article or making a YouTube video on that. Because right now that's where the market is, right? No one is searching for, I don't know, how to do a Kobe fade. Maybe they are. People, shot mechanics have done it, but Google says 0 out of 0. Right? So part of the fadeaway. Right. Basketball moves. This is one that I bet you I Love Basketball is gonna appear on. Basketball move. But I literally called it because he's making so much content on YouTube and he understands the value. Like it's literally just full of all the stuff he's made. 54,000 people are viewing this, right? If 54,000 people view this and one, like 10% of them is 500 people, click his YouTube video, he's just gonna crush, man. Moves, how to execute drills, how that's is essentially the what I would give to you is is realizing that the other people are doing these, taking these steps and just executing on it. You have so much that you can offer from what you've set up with perfect shots and what you've made from content. But you got to move away from the instant sale or the instant gratification and realize that it's a long-term play, that it's you got to build up a community, you got to build up a brand, um, and really just see the potential. It's like this is 100% free, right? I was actually making an article where to do a franchise, like to do McDonald's, Subway, or KFC, you have to spend like $50,000 or crazy amount of money to get just for startup capital, just to say that you could use a brand. when in 2018 you could literally make your own brand. This guy made it with zero capital. 2013, just started posting videos on YouTube, and you got to see the vision that, that you could discover yourself, discover your passion, discover your creativity, and just make the content. So that's all I got for you, man. I'll just send this your way. I'll send it on Streamable, and I'll send you the PowerPoint as well. Yeah. See you in the next one, man. Or call you tomorrow or Thursday. Peace out.